Welcome back, everyone. Sheepdog Smokey here, and this one's not a really surprise coming out of New York, but it should be denounced as just I don't know. This should not happen. An ex-school bus driver pleaded guilty to raping a 14-year-old girl. He got probation. CNN, a former school bus driver who pleaded guilty to raping a 14-year-old girl, will not receive any prison time, according to the sentence handed down by a New York State Supreme Court judge. The victim was 14 when she was assaulted by Shane Pitch on June 10, 2018, outside the upstate New York city of Watertown. Jefferson County Chief Assistant Prosecutor Patrick Zuba told CNN Tuesday. Pitch is 25, according to CNN affiliate WWNY. Pitch waived indictment in February and was sentenced last Thursday to probation for 10 years. According to the certificate of disposition, he must register as a Level 1 sex offender and pay fees of $1,425. He pleaded guilty to third-degree rape. The New York sex offender website describes Level 1 as an offender with a low risk of reoffense. Pitch's address would not be listed on the registry, just his zip code. Pitch met the victim as a school bus driver and maintained communication with her on social media, Zuba said. That led to inviting her to his home, plying her with alcohol, and then raping her, according to the prosecutor. Prosecutors originally asked for a split to probation, which is a mix of jail time and up to 10 years probation, Zuba said. Although they could have asked for up to 4 years in prison, prosecutors wanted Pitch to better learn how to control his urges and to learn proper boundaries, she said. Prosecutors were looking for treatment for Pitch, according to Zuba, who said Pitch will receive sex offender counseling and treatment while on probation. The state also wanted to protect the victim from court proceedings, she added. He pled guilty. She didn't have to show up. Pitch will have to report locally to the sheriff's department in the county where he lives, and he will not have access to children or live within a certain distance to children, the prosecutor said. The pre-sentencing report, which considers the defendant's past, input from the victim and the victim's family, the facts of the case, and other factors, determined probation was the appropriate punishment, Zuba said. The ultimate decision on the sentence. I do hate these ads. Why is it you're reading and you suddenly get that? The ultimate decision on the sentence rested with the judge, she said. Zuba said the case was not a violent sexual assault, but was prosecuted as third-degree rape because it is considered an age-based crime in New York. Third-degree rape also allows for unconditional discharge where a defendant is fined and sent on his way. Zuba said she was not present for victim impact statements in court last week. Pitch's attorney, Eric Schwartz, said in a statement that his client cannot be alone with anyone under the age of 17, with the exception of friends and relatives, as reported and agreed by the probation department. He'll be a felon for the rest of his life. Bernie Sanders would like him to be able to vote, Schwartz said in an interview with WWNY. He's on the sex offender registry for a long time, maybe not the rest of his life because of the level, but this isn't something that didn't cause him pain. I don't care what causes a rapist pain. And this isn't something that didn't have consequences. Pitch was employed as a bus driver for the Watertown City School District in Jefferson County. Watertown City School Superintendent Patty LaBarre told CNN the district cannot comment on personnel matters regarding outside contracted employees. This one is honestly, it's indefensible to me. This man groomed a young girl, got her drunk, then raped her. He is now out $1,400 and has to show up at meetings, and no one will ever know his name other than this story, just that someone lives in a certain zip code. How then is anyone to prove he doesn't live within a certain distance from children? Is he living on a mountaintop? I doubt it. They're also talking about it causing him pain. I honestly don't care that they say this rapist is caused pain by the court proceeding. I know I've made statements on Twitter and in other places about just give me 5 minutes and I can educate the rapist as to the error of his ways. Honestly, I would love to see them sent to a small room with a Marine Corps drill sergeant who gets 20 minutes to verbally only express just how far below pond scum this person is on the evolutionary scale. They would be reduced to a blubbering mass in the first 5. Then it just gets fun. If this ever happened to my niece, well, it's hard to say what I might do. I know that in high school, when I saw male students acting inappropriately around young women, I let it be known that I didn't tolerate that. I didn't get violent. I didn't threaten. The only physical altercation I was ever in, I was defending myself after being sucker punched. But it was very clear what I meant by I will not tolerate someone treating a young lady like that. A 25-year-old basically drugging and raping a 14-year-old girl goes so far beyond inappropriate that I cannot help but ask who in the blue hell is sitting on that bench that says, yes, you groomed a young girl, then you got her drunk, then you raped her, but we're not going to send you to prison. This idiot will be on the streets. The registry will never show his name or address. And in 10 years, he's scot free. And that is abhorrent. And it should be abhorrent to everyone. I find myself in a rare moment not totally disagreeing with CNN. Oddly enough, I also find this one that CNN wrote this the way I think it should be written. They gave everything but the why. They gave the who because that had been released after the court had sentenced the rapist, and from there, that's all they needed to give. They gave what happened, when, where, who was involved, and what has come of it. It's very odd for CNN to stick to that and not pontificate as to motive. But then, of course, this isn't a conservative white male doing something that they found abhorrent, or this isn't a terrorist that they can blame Donald Trump for. Sorry, allergies again are flaring up. This one, I can tell you from personal experience. Yes, I'm a former firefighter. Prior to that, for a year, I was a detention officer for my local county jail. I'm very glad it only lasted a year. I could not have gone longer in that job. I'm not a cop, I'm a fireman. But there's a reason that sex offenders and child abusers specifically are kept separate from the general population. They don't last long when they go to GPOP. Our county has a specific policy, in fact, all the counties around me do, that sex offenders are to be housed in isolation if possible, child abusers especially, because in general population, they would be found lying dead in the back of the pod within hours. Oddly enough, they don't even like each other. It's almost as if it's the I can do this, but when you do it, it's a horrible, evil thing, so I'm going to hurt you for it. They are animals. And honestly, that's not a harsh enough term. They prey on the weak and innocent, and then they don't feel anything. They say they feel pain. They say they feel regret, but they never do. I'm sure some might have been rehabilitated, but I don't know that I will ever believe a single one of them that they actually feel pain or regret for having destroyed an innocent life. This young girl will have to carry this with her for the rest of her life. And this idiot in 10 years won't even be beholden to meet up with his local county sheriff. And that's if he doesn't just skip town, change his name, lose about 100 pounds, and disappear into the woodwork in some other state or maybe another country. This, honestly, And this is one area where I kind of differ with the president, because he does have a very good program where he's putting people who are getting out of incarceration back to work. And that's a great program. 90 to 95% of the people who were in the jail I worked in were not horrible people. They had made mistakes, they had committed crimes. Most of them would admit it. Yeah, I screwed up. I'm going to do my time and get out. I ran into a couple of them after they'd been released, and they just kind of nodded and smiled and went on their way. I didn't have any problems walking into the cell to check for security, any of it. These are the kind of people who work in the prison laundry and then get a job working in a large scale laundry or something along those lines. And that's a great thing. But there's a line that needs to be drawn at where we stop trying to help. And definitely well past that line is someone who rapes a child. But I've talked about this long enough. I can feel my blood pressure going up. So I'm going to end this here. If you want to chime in, remember to keep the comments civil. We don't want to just devolve and give in to our baser instincts here. But, I mean, feel free. Just definitely, chime in. Just keep it civil. As always, make sure to like and comment on this video, share if you'd like, as well as to subscribe and activate notifications so that you're kept abreast of all new content as it is posted. Until next time, have as good a day as you can, having seen this story.